Welcome to Transform Laser Scanning with Reality Cloud Studio. Our presenter today is our Reality Capture Solutions consultant, Mr. James Branagan. So James, I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor over to you.
Thank you, Lori. Hello, everybody. So I'm James, and what we're going to go over today is just taking a look at Reality Cloud Studio. A lot of you may not be aware, or you may be, that you already have Reality Cloud Studio. So in the last year and a half, Leica has been including a subscription to 3 terabytes worth of data with the purchase of a scanner. So if you've purchased one of the scanners in the last year and a half, you may already have access to Reality Cloud Studio. So in this webinar, we're going to take a look at what Reality Cloud Studio is and then kind of walk through some of the cool things you can do with it. Okay. A little bit about myself. Like Laurie said, my name's James. I've been kind of in the AEC industry for quite a long time. Been with Imaginet for just over 10 years now, working with the laser scanners for about 7 of that. I've got a couple of different certifications for teaching, again, specializing more in the workflows between AutoCAD and the Autodesk products and reality capture products. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, a little bit about what Reality Cloud Studio is, and then how we get the first step and how we get our data to Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, so Reality Cloud Studio it's an online platform. If you've been around Leica for a while, you may have seen some of the other data management programs that Leica's had. Things like we started out with kind of Jetstream, and then Jetstream gave way, and we've now got Cyclone Enterprise. So those are both kind of data management systems. You upload your point cloud into one of those programs, and you can control who can see it and who can access it. Okay. Reality Cloud Studio takes that model and moves it up into the cloud. So we have all of that data management, the data management tools, just cloud-based. So I'll upload my project into the cloud, and again, I can control who can see it, who can edit it, and what different people within that have been added to the project can do with my point cloud. Okay. That's only part of the solution, though. Reality Cloud Studio has a whole bunch of other tools built into it that we didn't get with those other data management programs. Okay, things like automatic registration, things like meshing. Okay. Those tools are now also built into the cloud program and cloud platform of Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. And we'll see those again when we kind of get into the data. So really, we've got a couple of different options for getting data into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. The first way is kind of direct. So we can use Field 360. Right? So if we're controlling our scanners with Field 360 directly in the Field 360 app, we can get that data into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. That has some pretty big time advantages. If you've got a time crunch, you've got somebody out in the field scanning something and you need that scan in the office right away. Okay. They don't have to shut the scanner down and download everything to a laptop and then connect to the internet and send it to you via Dropbox or some other way. Okay. They can upload their scan directly from Field 360. Now, to do that, obviously goes without saying they're going to need a connection to the internet. Okay. So it can't be just the Wi-Fi connection to the scanner. You will need a connection out to the wider internet to be able to save that data down. Right? But that's the first way. We can just go directly from Field 360. And we can separate it into either just scans or bundles or the entire project and load that data up. Okay. Be conscious as well, obviously we're using data to upload that. So if you're on a plan If you're using your cell phone for transferring it, if you're on a plan that has limited data, you are going to chew into that data, uploading this your point cloud. Okay. The other option we've got is through Register 360. Okay. So I can follow my standard workflow, register or get everything scanned in the field, bring it onto my computer into Register 360, do any of my cleanup and registration in Register 360, produce an LGSX file, and then with that LGSX file, I can upload that into Reality Cloud Studio. And there's a couple of different ways we can do that. I can also add 3D models. Okay, so I can add IFCs, I can add Revit models, I can add my Navisworks models, I can add 3D meshes. So I can add OBJs and I can add GLB objects as well. Okay. You can actually combine your 3D model with your point cloud within Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. So what we can use Reality Cloud Studio for then, directly in Reality Cloud Studio, we can collaborate, right? We can have virtual site visits. We can add people to the projects and let them view the point cloud directly in your web browser. We can stream it. So I can stream it through CloudWorks. I can stream to any of my CAD programs. I can stream it directly to AutoCAD or Revit or Navisworks, okay, using CloudWorks. Okay. I can also stream it directly into 3DR. Okay. So if I want to use 3DR, I can stream it from Reality Cloud Studio and bring that into 3DR. Okay. Now, it doesn't just have to be Leica information that we bring in. We can also bring in third-party data sources. As long as we've got the ability to create an E57 file or an LAS file, I can bring those into Reality Cloud Studio and then have all the same functionality from Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, so a bunch of different options we've got there to get our data into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. Now, one of the questions we do get quite a bit is about the security and compliance. So for people that are comfortable with data in the cloud, right, it's cloud-based. And there's a few different cloud locations around the world. We'll get into that next. But some of the benefits of Reality Cloud Studio is that since it's cloud-based, you have no implementation. Right? There's no hardware to buy, no consultants to pay. It's really just web-based. So you go into your favorite browser, type in the address for HXDR Reality Cloud Studio, and you're off and running. Okay. No upgrades to manage either. This will manage on the back end. Anytime you open up Reality Cloud Studio, it's going to be updated to the latest version for you. Okay. And again, the data, the security, we've got data locations in the EU, in the US, Canada, as well as the UAE. Okay, so there's a bunch of different options there for where your data is locally stored or stored in the cloud. I know some of the biggest issues that we have with cloud storage is where the data is stored. So we've got a bunch of different options here. Okay, so next thing we're going to take a look at then is a quick note about the pricing model. Okay. Leica does this a little bit differently from everybody else. It's based on per terabyte. So it's based on usage, not on storage. Okay. So what does that mean? It's sold per terabyte, but it's actually, the terabyte gets used up through usage. Okay. So these are the things that are going to cost you kind of that data. Okay. Uploading. So anytime I import or upload from either through the Dataflow app or from Field 360, then that is going to kind of eat into my terabytes. Okay? Anytime we process, so if we use auto registration, if we use auto meshing, format conversion for exports, okay, anything that we do with that is also going to eat into those that terabytes that I have for my subscription. The last thing is downloading. So if we export or if we download a mesh, okay, or if we download the LAS file, or sorry, the LGSX file, that's also going to then eat into those terabytes. Okay. Well, you'll notice in here though that these things aren't charged. Okay, so you can stream. I can have as many users as I want connecting to Reality Cloud Studio, and they can stream through CloudWorks, they can stream their data. That's not charged. Again, you've got unlimited amount of users that you can add, and they can all be streaming that data down. You've also got unlimited projects. You've also got free ongoing storage. So what that all means, let's say, for example, we've gone out and we have, we've scanned, and our project is, let's say it's 10 gigabytes. Okay. And we have a 3 terabyte subscription. Okay. So I'm finished my scanning, project is now 10 gigabytes in size. When I upload that project, it's going to take those 10 gigabytes away from my 3 terabytes. If I do any processing, so if I process that data in the cloud, let's say I've uploaded a bunch of scans from Field 360, and then I go and I process those and have them register automatically in the cloud, that's going to take 10 terabytes, or sorry, 10 gigabytes. Okay. Let's say I go in and download that. For some reason, I've misplaced my original LGSX file. I can download it again from Reality Cloud Studio. That download is also going to take the 10 gigabytes. Right? But nothing else does. Right? So I can, if I wanted to, I could go and I could take my 10 gigabyte project into Register 360, process it in there, upload the LGSX file, which is going to be a lot smaller, and then have everybody connect to it from CloudWorks. And the only thing I'm charged is for that upload. Okay. You can also vary the data, right? So because it's on how much you use when you're uploading and downloading, let's say this year I know I have a couple of really big projects. Okay. I could say I want 5 terabytes worth of data for this year. Okay, next year, not quite as busy, not as big projects, I can go down to 3 terabytes. Okay. The storage of that cloud is free. Okay. You're only paying when you use your data on the cloud. Okay. So that's a little bit there about the pricing and about Reality Cloud Studio. So let's jump into Reality Cloud Studio and have a look at some of the cool things that we can do with it. Right. Okay, so this is Reality Cloud Studio. When I log in to hxdr.app and then the dashboard, this is where I come to. It'll ask you to sign in if you haven't. Once you sign in, again, I'll come to this landing page. So we've got a menu on the left-hand side. Okay. We've got this content program, and then we've got the actual Reality Cloud Studio here on the right. So the content program is another piece of HXDR. Leica's building up a database of point clouds that you can purchase. So anywhere that we've got kind of that turquoise has data sets available in there, I can select it, and then I can go and purchase those assets directly through here. So if I want existing ground data, I don't have it, I don't want to spend the money to get it, flown or surveyed, I can go in here and I can go and take a look and download some existing ground data. Okay. Where we want to be though is on this side here with Reality Cloud Studio. So we've got some recent projects in here, and we've just got a thumbnail here for one of the projects. If I click on that, that is going to open me up into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, and this is going to come into my projects area here for Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. Before we get into a lot of this data here, let's just take a look at some of the menu options that are on the left-hand side. So I'm going to start down here in the very bottom left. And down in the bottom left here, we've got my name. And if I click on my name, then I've got things like my user profile. We've got the company information. And again, I can get in and take a look at my company information. I've got users, which I'll go through in a minute. I've got subscriptions, I've got orders, and I've got billing. If I take a look at the subscriptions, that's going to take me to the subscription page where it will show me my subscription plan. It's going to show me my usage, so how much we've uploaded, how much we've downloaded. It's going to show me the seats. Okay, I can invite members through here, but it'll show me the seats. And then we've got the billing details in here as well. Okay. So one of the big pieces of Reality Cloud Studio is the data management portion. Right? So all of those projects that we were looking at before, okay, all of these projects here, you can see, or we can see here, which members are a part of those projects. Okay, so for this one here, we've got both Jay and myself and Jeff Bowers as well. Okay, those are the 3 members on our team. All 3 of us are added to that. Okay, and we've got different, a bunch of different members with a bunch of different projects in here. Okay. So when I take a look at the users, you can add users to those projects, and they won't be able to access other projects. Now that all depends on their role. So if I want to invite members, I can come in here to the invite members. Okay, it's going to ask me to type in their email address. It'll ask me to, if I want to add a message, and then it's got the account role. Okay, so there's 4 different account roles that you can have. Okay, you've got member, employee, maintainer, and then the admin. Okay, and depending on which one you choose, it's going to allow them different permissions within Reality Cloud Studio. And you can see the role here as well. If I click down on the role, this will give me a little bit of an information about what each role does. If I want to learn more, I can click here, and that's going to give me kind of a checklist of what the different roles do. So if we just take a look, admin can do everything. So the 3 of us are set as admin. That's why I can see all the projects, even though I'm not added to them. So the different things we can do, the admin can collaborate within projects, invite people, create, purchase content, right? Edit billing and subscriptions, invite people. They can add or edit company account details. You can delete company account members, delete the projects, and access all of the projects. Okay, so you can see here, admins can access all your projects. Okay, the next one over is your maintainer. They can do everything except for these bottom 4, right? They can't edit company account details. They can't delete company account members or projects unless they own it. And they can only see, or only the ones that they have created or been invited to for the projects. Okay. We move to the next one, employee, and they can do even less. So the only 3 things they can do are create projects, invite people to that project, or collaborate. Okay. And then the last one, the member, very restricted. All they can do is collaborate within the project or invite members to projects. Okay. So you can add, like we said, you can add as many people as you want to these projects, and you can control what they see and what they can do within those projects. The other options here we've got, like I said, you can edit your company information, you can go into your profile, and I can log out. If we look at the menu, okay, this will give me, I can jump into different areas within HXDR. So we've got Reality Cloud Studio and the projects. I can go into the content program, which we talked a little bit about. We can explore that or purchase content, and we can download this HXDR data flow, which I'll go into in a minute. Okay. So if I click back on the projects, that's just going to take me back here to my project page. Okay. If I click on the dashboard, that's going to take me back to that original start page that I got into. Okay. So creating a new project is pretty simple. I can just click on that create project. Okay. And that create project there will allow me to create a project. Okay. And then from there, I can go in and I can add different folders or different files. Okay, if I take a look at one of these projects, okay, in this project, I can now see any of the assets that I've created. Okay, I can also create different options in here as well. So I can create an asset. Okay, I can create a folder. So if I want to organize this more, I can go in and I can create folders, and I can then add those assets to those folders. Okay. I can see assets within the project. I can see scenes. I can see members. Okay. I can see details. Okay. When it was created, location, how many assets there are, any comments. And then lastly, I've got a category manager, which we don't have any of yet. Okay. So again, lots of different functionality to organize your projects within Reality Cloud Studio here. So going back a little bit again, how do we get our data into Reality Cloud Studio? We talked about the Field 360 app, and you connect in the Field 360 app to HXDR, to Reality Cloud Studio here, and you can upload and create projects through the Field 360 app or the BLK Live app. Now, when you are using Field 360, if I am using one of the handheld scanners, okay, so that's either the ARC or the BLK to go and BLK to go Pulse, they create .b2g files. Okay, those B2G files will go natively into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, so this one here that's got more assets, this was from a BLK to go, and I can see in here all the different assets that we've got. Okay, so we've got all of those B2G files. So if your scanner creates a B2G file, like I said, it'll be the ARC or the Pulse, okay, the BLK to go Pulse or the BLK to go, then those files will come in directly here. Okay, once I get them in here, then I can go and I can register. I can use that registration. If I'm exporting a BLK 360 or an RTC file from Field 360, then that will export an E57 file. So it will take the data and it will export as an E57 file directly into Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. I can still do registration, okay, but with that, if I'm using the Viz system on either of those scanners, right, so on the Gen 2 of the BLK 360, or if I'm using the RTC, okay, obviously not the RTC 360 Lite, but the RTC 360, when I've got that Viz system, okay, it will also create a JSON file, a JSON file. That is what will be used to register the E57 files within Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, so if I upload that project, okay, all of those files get exported as E57s. Okay, it'll also get that JSON file, and then I can use those and register in the cloud as well. So that's one option. Like I said, use Field 360 and bring all that data in through Field 360. Okay, the other option I've got is to use data flow. Okay, so this is data flow here. Okay, again, it's a free download, and this will allow me to upload data that I've had from, that I've processed within Register 360. So if I take all my data into Register 360, do my registration, create my LGSX file, I can go in here and I can upload that data. Okay, again, we saw where to download this data flow manager. Okay, you can do it through my initials down at the bottom, or when I'm creating new folders and new projects within Reality Cloud Studio, I can also go in and upload it through, or download it through there as well. In here, I've just got projects and I've got the upload manager. So this is the upload manager part here. Obviously, I don't have anything in there right now. If I add something, then it will upload. Okay. On the project side, this will connect to Reality Cloud Studio, and it's going to show me any of my projects in here. Okay. So adding is as simple as clicking create a project. Okay. I can go in and add the title. Okay. I can add a cover image. I can choose which members I add. Okay. I can choose the location and any labels. Okay. Once I've created that project, it's going to create here. Okay. And I can go to that project. There's not going to be anything in here at the moment. So if I wanted to just grab a small LGSX file here, I can drag and drop, and that's going to then add that to my HXDR. Okay. When I go back, look at the projects. Once I find it. Okay. I can also go in here. I can drag and drop my file in here. Okay, and copy that file over. I can also click on Create New. Once I've got that file uploading, okay, again, it's going to show me the progress and that uploaded file. Okay. I'll be able to see everything back on Reality Cloud Studio. Once that's finished, then it'll come into Reality Cloud Studio here. So let's take a quick look at stuff that we can do within Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. So back in Reality Cloud Studio here, we'll take a look at one of the models, okay, and open that up. Okay. So when I'm in Reality Cloud Studio, okay, I can see my point cloud, and I can navigate the point cloud. So if you've used TrueView before, okay, it's going to be really similar to that, but again, we've got different options in there as well. So down on the left-hand side, we've got a few more options that have opened up. Okay. This first one, artifacts. This is going to show me whether I've got a point cloud, whether I've got a mesh, and a panoramic. Okay. There's rumors they're also going to start adding new tools in here like classification. And if I want to run the classification, it'll show up under here as well. Okay. This will show me whether it's complete or not, or again, if it's not, then I can go in and I can run that meshing, or I can create a panorama, or I can register the point cloud directly through these artifacts. Okay. Below that, this allows me to add a limit box. Okay, so we've already got a limit box in here. If I want to activate it, I can select it, and that's added that limit box. So this limit box is just taking the roof off my point cloud here. Okay, if I want to add any other limit boxes, I can just come into limit box, add it, okay, drag the limit box. So let's deactivate that one. Let's add another limit box. Okay. I can see the limit box here. So if I want to click on the dot and change where my limit box is, I can go through and I can do that in here. Okay. When I'm happy with it, click Save or Cancel. Okay. You've got some other options down here for the size of the limit box, and that will then save that limit box within here. Okay. My navigation tools, they've added some good navigation tools in here. I can, oops, turn that test off. Okay. Disappeared for a minute. Let me just open this up again. Okay. So in my window down here, I can now navigate through my window. So if I come in, I can see now where the scanner locations are, and if I double click on that scanner location, it will take me through and into that scanner location. Okay. So in here, again, we've got our panorama. If I want to see the point cloud, I can click to the point cloud and just take a look at my point cloud. My navigation tools are down here. Okay, whether I'm flying or orbiting, I can change that pretty quickly and easily through there. Okay. So this is my point cloud. If I want to see the mesh, I can click on the mesh and that will take me through into my mesh. And again, I can navigate and walk around through that mesh. Okay. I can also do measurements. Okay, so if I click on the measurements, I don't have anything yet. I can click on tape measurement. It's going to ask me what type. Do I want a distance? Do I want an area? Or do I want planar? Okay. So 3 points to then define that plane. So if I want to take a measurement, it's just as simple as clicking on one spot, clicking on another spot. Okay. That will take that measurement then. You can add a name. So if I want to name this measurement, I can also add a description to it. Okay. If I want the advanced details, again, I can turn that on. It's going to give me point A, point B, and what the deltas are. Again, if I want to save it, click on Save. That'll save that measurement for me. Okay. That'll go through and save that. And then it'll show me all of those, that different information through that measurement there. I can edit it, I can locate it, I can also delete it through there. Beside that is geotags, or below it. So I can add more geotags. Okay. If I click on the canvas, click to add that geotag in there, it's going to, I can add attachments, I can add links, I can click on the, I can click on the description and add a description, and I've also got data in here as well. So that's just going to give me that geotag location. So again, really handy to be able to go in and create your own geotags after the fact. So if I don't add something in the field through geotags, I can go in here and I can add these geotags after the fact. I still can add attachments. So if I've got pictures that I want to add that were taken with an external camera, if I've got documents that I want to add, I can go in and I can add those attachments. Okay. Any links, if I need this to link out, so let's say we've got boiler here and I want to link to the manufacturer's site, I can go in and I can add that link through there as well. Right. I've got tools. So this is creating a path. Okay, so these are going to be scenes. If I want to create a camera position, okay, I can click on that viewpoint, then I can navigate around. Okay, and add second viewpoint, okay, keep going around, add another one, and that will then allow me to have that as a walkthrough. Okay, so if I want to view this walkthrough, okay, I can go through and I can take a look. Okay, I can also record a video from it. If I select that, click on that play, it's going to show me that path that I just took through my walkthrough. Okay. So this will be saved within the project up in Reality Cloud Studio. If I want to record a video, this is going to create that high quality video, and then I can share that tour experience. We've got the tour info, we've got the path info. Again, we can go through and edit any of that stuff in there as well. Okay, so lots of different options you've got in here. Again, you can create limit boxes, you can add measurements, you can add geotags, add tours, and then you've got details of your model in there. Up at the top here, we can share this. Okay, so if I want to give general access, anybody with a link. Okay, so if I don't want to specifically add them to my project and allow them to create measurements and that kind of stuff, I can go in and I can copy that link, okay, and then share this asset with people. If I want to download, I can click on the download. That will allow me to download my E57 file, download my LGSX file, or the mesh as well. Okay, up here, I can change between the point cloud, okay, or the mesh, or my panorama. Okay. I can also choose the dollhouse mesh in here as well. Okay, so if I've got my mesh, I can change that dollhouse mesh. Okay, additional options here. You've also got a comparison mode that we can compare the mesh and the mesh and the point cloud, okay, if I want to do that. On the far right-hand side, we've got a filter. Okay, so if I want to enable filter, I can go and I can choose all the setups within a certain range. Okay. I can also change the visualization settings. So there's a couple of different visualization settings we've got in here. I can change the effects. I can change the point size. Okay. I can choose what the setups look like, whether we're outlining it or not, what background color is, what the quality is. Okay. We can change my cursor, and I can change the units in here as well. Okay. And the last one here is just a quick where I can go through the default vivid white, and that'll make changes for those quick modes. Okay. So that's a pretty quick walk through what Reality Cloud Studio does and what it allows you to do. Okay. So again, it's really data storage combined with a whole bunch of other tools that can be really useful. That automatic registration, the automatic meshing. The meshing is obviously going to depend on what kind of data you've got going into it. So if you have really good data going in, it's going to create a really good mesh coming out. Okay. And so you've got that ability to create those meshes here within within Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. Another resource for learning everything that you can do within Reality Cloud Studio, or just getting help with Reality Cloud Studio, is the RC Docs page. So Leica has this RC Docs under Leica Geosystems, and in here, underneath Reality Cloud Studio, I've got things like guided walkthroughs, right? Signing up for your subscription, activating Reality Cloud Studio, running auto mesh, auto registration for E57 files, or auto registration for the B2G files. If you forget how to do that, you can run through some of these workflows in there as well. So that, again, really good resource there from Reality Cloud Studio, from Leica. Okay, so the last piece of the puzzle here is then what we're doing with this point cloud. So obviously we can invite anybody we want to collaborate and view this point cloud through browser. So they don't have to download anything. They don't have to download any viewers or download any special software to be able to see that point cloud. They can just take that link that was created, or if they've been added as a member, go into the browser, open up Reality Cloud Studio, and then get into that point cloud. Okay, so that's a great great usage there. We can also, as I mentioned earlier, stream this. So I can go into Revit and I can, through CloudWorks, attach to Reality Cloud Studio and download, stream, not download, but I can stream this data into Revit or into AutoCAD or Navisworks, and I can use my tools in CloudWorks to work through with the model. Okay. Nothing's stored locally. There's only one version of the point cloud, and that's the version that's up on Reality Cloud Studio. Okay. So again, pretty handy from that data management perspective. Okay. So I think we'll open it up here for questions. If you've got any questions, feel free to type them in there and we'll get them answered.
The first one we had was from Eric. He's asking if you upload your project to Reality Cloud Studio, can you also bring in Navis files? Are you able to update coordinate systems in the point cloud to match the model, so then future exports use the same coordinate location? So the answer is yes, we can upload our NWD files with also a bunch of other files. We can get OBJ and things like that. When it comes to coordinate systems, I'll be honest, I prefer that you do that prior to getting the coordinate system up to Reality Cloud Studio myself. But James, I don't know how you feel about that.
Yeah, I think so as well. At the moment, I don't think Leica hasn't added the ability to add coordinate files as of yet. I've heard it's something they're working on, but I agree with Jay. Like I said, at the moment, it's probably best to do that within Register 360.
All right. Eric asked about changing default units, but you already answered his question. And he was funny. He actually said, "Oh, I guess that was just answered." So, sorry, that was Eli. My mistake. And then Eli asked, when you have Navisworks NWD file added and overlaid with the point cloud, can you adjust the transparencies of either one of them? And I don't believe that you can adjust the transparencies. You can change the background, you can change grid lines, but not the actual transparency of either one, at least not to my knowledge yet.
Yeah, that's what I've seen as well. Not yet.
Okay. Andre said, thank you for the RC docs. That's very helpful. Somebody asked, Luke asked if you could show streaming into Revit. Do you have that up?
I do.
Do you have Revit up and ready?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
I'll let you show that then.
Let me go and... Okay. So this is Revit. All I've done is opened up Revit, and I have just created a blank project. So I just used one of the templates and created a blank project. So in Revit, obviously you need CloudWorks. This is the only way you're going to be able to connect to it. Once we've got CloudWorks up and loaded, there in the new versions of CloudWorks, you have this new button here for Reality Cloud Studio. Okay, click on that Reality Cloud Studio. And it might take just a minute to open here. This will then connect to Reality Cloud Studio. If you haven't signed in, you'll need to go in and sign into your Reality Cloud Studio account. And then once you are signed in, at the moment, it's looking for this point source. Okay, I don't have anything there. Click on the 3 dots. That's going to, I don't think it's actually showing it. Okay, I've got another little window opened up that has connected to Reality Cloud Studio. And that Reality Cloud Studio is just exactly what you see on that project page. I can go through there and I can choose the project, click on Open Asset, and that should, so this is now telling me the point source. It's streaming that from Reality Cloud Studio down into CloudWorks here. So it's going to take a minute. Obviously, we're presenting as well as there it is. Yeah. So this is that same one that we were looking at before, and then that's now streaming from Reality Cloud Studio into Revit here. Okay. So again, this is also going to depend on how quick your connection is. Right? If I'm working with a really slow internet connection, you're going to hate streaming it. But if I've got a good internet connection, there shouldn't be any issues with that streaming.
All right. So are you good, James? You want me to read the next one?
Yeah. No, I think we're good there.
What are some pros that this program has over Recap Pro? Quite honestly, they're very, very different. Recap Pro requires you to have an ACC account, which is something else. But the features that we have with CloudWorks just far outweigh what we can do with any point cloud in just Recap.
Yeah, I agree. So, they're kind of different programs, right? Recap Pro is more of a registration program. So you take all your programs, you take all your scans into Recap Pro, and then you register them together, and it'll create that RCS RCP file for you. Recap Pro is kind of more similar to Register 360. Reality Cloud Studio, we do have some aspects that we get in Recap Pro, but there's some things that we may not. Okay. Again, really different. You can do a lot of the stuff you can in Recap Pro in Reality Cloud Studio, but it's not really a registration program yet.
And so Lee is asking, what's the offline method to access the point cloud? Lee, it's just simply the LGSX that James showed a little bit earlier. You can put that file local on your machine and run it all day long if you prefer. You don't have to check out the stream. You should have the LGSX prior to sending it to Reality Cloud Studio. If you don't have it, you can download it from Reality Cloud Studio if you'd like.
Yeah. Just remember that downloading will then eat into your subscription data.
Correct. So Randy is then asking, does each team member using Revit need a license to CloudWorks to stream the model? Or does one person load the point cloud, it's good for all the team members? Just a simple yes to that. Everybody does need a license in order to access the point cloud through a CAD package like AutoCAD or Revit. They don't necessarily need a license to access it through the web portal, or there's another piece of software stored locally known as Leica's TrueView software. It's simply an app that you put on your desktop, and you can stream the point cloud directly into there with no license needed. All right, let's see. Let's go some other questions here. Dean is asking, can it be streamed into Civil 3D? Yes, it can be with the CloudWorks for AutoCAD application. To avoid used data for downloading after a project is done, is there a way to archive certain projects while leaving them up on the platform so they aren't mixed with active projects? You know, I believe you can delete the project from there.
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to archive them per se, but you could just remove all the team members and have one admin person and just leave them up there.
And typically you would have uploaded that data using the LGS anyway, so that LGS file can serve as your archive file, and you can then delete it from RCS.
Yeah, and remember that the storage in RCS is free. If you're not doing anything with that model, you can leave that storage up there for as long as you want.